Now I want to talk about the RTX 300 TVS's adventure bike, and why I think that this bike might actually end up not only destroying the entire adventure segment competition, but probably take down a lot of the competition in terms of just price when it comes to other bikes. Now, the RTX 300 TVS's adventure bike, it's it's based on a 300cc engine. That's a new engine by TVS, and I don't think it has anything to do with BMW. But this engine produces 36 horsepower and I think 20 point something torque or something. But the main thing I'm gonna focus on is the fact that the ex showroom price is right under 2 lakhs. It's 1.99 lakh. And when you look at that price point, it's actually incredible. Because what's the competition that this bike should traditionally have, considering the engine capacity and all that? Well, one is the KTM Adventure 250, and then the Suzuki Adventure bike. And that the Suzuki bike is, I think, just 1,000 rupees less from this. But I think this bike actually has almost, I think, 9 horsepower more than that, which is huge. And the KTM, the Avenger bike from KTM, well, that thing's more expensive and less powerful. It's what, 40,000 rupees more ex showroom, and it has, I think, 5 horsepower less than this. So anyway you look at it, I don't see any other choice but to go for this bike. Unless, of course, there's something fundamentally wrong with the riding experience. Maybe the suspension has some problem or something like that. But even in that case, this does have the option to add the adjust the suspension. You can add that on. And in that case, I'm assuming that it will, worst case scenario, it will still be reasonable. And even then, it's still cheaper. I think the BTO option is 30,000 or something more, 29,000 or 30,000 something more. But if the suspension is really good for long rides and all that stuff, I don't think the people who are going for the adventure bikes would really bother with that kind of upgrade for that price point. I don't think they really need it, as long as the suspension is good. But if it's bad, yeah, I guess they have to upgrade it to that, and then the price will go up. But still, even in that case, this bike has more power than the KTM Adventure. But I'm gonna stick to thinking that the suspension will probably be good. Considering that this is an Adventure bike, I'm gonna guess that it'll have a decent suspension. And in which case, this is now the default choice. And how can you justify buying any other bike as long as there's no problem? Because the Suzuki bike, well, it's just under spec compared to this thing, and the KTM Adventure, which is again under spec but more expensive too. So the KTM brand name, it's not enough to justify that bike at this price point. And then there's the main one, the Himalayan. Now, the Himalayan 450, well, that's got a huge problem now, because that bike, I think the price of it on road now would be around 4 lakhs or something. And anyway, the ex showroom price, well, I don't know the exact ex showroom price, but anyway, look at it, it's probably going to be above 1 lakh or something in terms of pricing for the ex showroom variant of that. And for that kind of money, sure, you get a bigger engine, but in terms of power, you don't get that much more power. I think it's 4 horsepower more than the TVS. It's got 40, I think, or roughly 40. Now, the Himalayan's a fantastic bike and it's got a huge following, but price is a factor, and if you can get something for close to that performance for 1 lakh less, a lot of people are gonna be interested in that bike. It's just the facts. Price is a big issue, and 1 lakh is a big price. And this thing actually isn't, technically, it shouldn't be competing with the Himalayan. But it's not competing with the 250s either. It's kind of in the middle, but it's priced like the 250 the segment, and which puts it in a unique position where it could really compete with anything. It can compete with a wide range of products, and it could really steal the entire market. Now, again, the reviews for how well it rides hasn't come out, and that is a huge factor when it comes to these adventure bikes. The ride has to be good. If it's not good, it's just not gonna work. And with the BTO, I guess you can make it work, but I really hope that it's really good at this price point, or just good enough at this price point for most people. And the fact that this bike actually looks good, it looks, from what I've seen, it looks big for the pictures and all that. It looks big. The front fairing looks good, and it seems to have these massive headlights, which I personally like. I mean, I want these Avengers bikes to look good and to look big. And this thing, the way it looks for the price, honestly, it looks awesome. Now, I think this bike has cruise control as standard. That's a huge thing. To give it a standard, awesome. And it has a TFT display, but the same one from the RTR and all that. But I don't know if that's standard. I think that it might not be, considering the price, they might have to cut some stuff. I hope it is, because if it is standard and it has cruise control, this is a fantastic deal. Now, I know there are 3 options: the base variant, a middle variant, then the BTO. Now, I'm curious what the middle variant has specifically. I think it might be maybe traction control. I think that'll probably be the option for the second variant. And maybe the TFT, and that together, I guess it's a good package. And maybe some other stuff. But yeah, if this thing rides well at this price point, this could just destroy the competition. And even a lot of people who are looking to just buy a big bike just for sake of looks, who want a bike who has a specific price limit that they're willing to spend, they want something that looks good and awesome, and they want it to be comfortable, everyday use and some sporty use. For the regular bike riders who aren't hardcore enthusiasts, this feels like a good bike to pick. I mean, the average rider, they want the bike to look good, they want it to ride well, they want to have enough power. And this does all. If this does all that stuff, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't want it either, because this honestly looks good. Now, some adventure bikes, you can say that the looks aren't all that appealing, and it's understandable, but this one, it looks good. The fairing looks like a great fairing. And let's wait and see what the reviews come out for this bike, but if it is good, I think the entire market's gonna get wrecked by this bike. And that's probably a good thing, because then the manufacturers will have to either make their bikes even better or they bring down the prices. Either way, that's great for us. So yeah, I'm really excited about the new TVS Avenger bike.